Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Toast Time. We are recording on Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021 at about 7:48 p.m. I am joined, as always, by my good buddy, Jackson Law. Jackson, how's it going today?
It's going good today, man. Another great day. I use this joke on the Tandemodium Sports Show, the episode that just drops. But I'm gonna say it again because it was a because I like it and I like corny jokes and I make myself laugh all the time. It's probably why I don't have very many friends. But in the uh, in the immortal words of the late, or it's not late because he's not dead, but in the late 20th century American poet O'Shea Jackson, commonly known by his pen name of Ice Cube, today was a good day. Yep, today was a good day.
Hey, Jackson, listen, man. When you got a friend like me, that's all you need. You don't need much more.
That's like how I'm gonna start introducing a lot of things now. It's like when people ask me that, I'm just gonna go on that long rant, and they're just gonna stare at me like, "Who are you talking about?" And they're gonna be super uncultured because they never rebelled like I did and listened to NWA.
No, of course not. Uncultured swine. Ah, but we'll get right into it, guys. First up for our buttery toast picks this week, I got my man who I was high on in the draft. Uh, I just wanted full disclosure. I live in New York, but I'm not a Knicks fan. But I got to give them credit when they land themselves a gem. That's Emmanuel Quickly. This kid is absolutely balling. I mean, I have him in my fantasy basketball league, and he's been just doing numbers for me. I think he's only had one like bad game out of the whole season fantasy wise. And also, I still don't understand why Elfrid Payton is starting over him. I just don't get. I don't get that. But hey, listen, he's doing work. So maybe Tibbs just thinks that he should just come off the bench for a while until he's a starter. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking over there, but I do know this: Manuel Quickly is that guy. And since I live in New York, I know a lot about the Knicks, even though I'm not a Knicks fan. It's been so very long since this team has had like an actually good point guard. Like not even good, just semi decent. I mean, if you really want to sit there and think about it, I mean, when was the last good point guard the Knicks had? Chauncey Billups, 2013. I mean, like, like
End of his career, Chauncey Billups. Wow.
exactly. That and like, it's not even like I would like to sit here and like make a joke, but like, there's nobody else. Like, he's the only person that could come to. I mean, is Chauncey Billups or Raymond Felton? I mean, those are those have been the highlight point guards of the Knicks roster for like the past 15 years. Now, not only is that sad, but it just speaks to that whole ownership and that franchise. But Emmanuel Quickly, it looks like they finally got one right. And I love the way he plays. He's like he's like a hustle player that actually has skill and can score like 20 points a game. Those are very rare to find. So good for the Knicks that they got this guy. I'm happy he's doing well. And I have a lot of friends that are Knicks fans, and like they've just been long suffering while I'm over here, the Laker fan, and I've seen my team win a championship like at least 5 times in my lifetime. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, dude, Emmanuel Quickly definitely was a great pickup for him, and he wasn't even their first pick in the NBA draft. They went with Obi Toppin first, and they're playing Emmanuel Quickly more than what they're playing Obi Toppin. Now I know Toppin dealt with some injuries to start the season, but both of those guys are coming off the bench. And but yeah, he is definitely a bright spot, and it's odd to give the Knicks credit, but you got to give them credit when credit is due. And this is probably their best draft pick that they've picked in a long time. I mean, even going back last year to RJ Barrett, RJ Barrett is not having a terrible year, but it's not the step that you would want him to take. He's not in the conversation right now with that draft class. He's not into where John Morant and Zion Williamson are. And, you can call me biased as a Grizz fan when talking about John Morant, but I'm echoing what I see other people on Twitter saying. And the love that Ja gets on Twitter from NBA Twitter is immense. And it's people outside of the Grizz fandom too. So so that's why I say that. That's me defending myself there, and plus screw you guys. I'm a Grizz fan. I got John Morant. You don't. So, but I know it's crazy to see the Knicks make a good pick like that, and good for them. The NBA always does better when it's top three franchises, which are the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Knicks. When they're doing well, then the NBA as a whole is doing well because people are more invested. Those are the biggest markets. Chicago, close behind them. Chicago seems to be trending upwards in the right direction. So who knows? Maybe 5 years from now, we'll have some parity, and by parity, I mean it'll just be the same teams that it has been since the 70s in contention. So,
as always,
as always, it's fun, right? Is that I remember, just to go on a quick tangent here before we get to my buttery pick, about Trey talking about how unfair the NBA is, where you can make the right trades, you can draft the right people, but it just doesn't matter because you have one player like LeBron that decides he's going to go chill in LA because he wants to go make movies and, go ahead and start up his career after basketball. And he's just like, hey, while I'm here, let's win a championship. Let's pressure the league for, getting Anthony Davis here. And it's like, oh, Montrezl Harrell. Yeah, come on over, dude. All these players, Rajon Rondo, no one else went to, come over here for 1 year. We'll give you the vet minimum, but, you'll get another championship, and then you'll get a payday after that because people overpay for experience, championship experience. Yep. I mean, look at Matthew Dellavedova. That dude got a bag all because LeBron won him a championship. Friggin' Matthew Dellavedova.
Delly. Oh, I remember those Delly and Curry battles in the finals when Kyrie got hurt.
Like, that's how good LeBron is. Not only does he win you a championship, but he wins you the bag afterwards.
Oh.
But he's smart enough to not make his franchise give you the bag. He's like, you can go get the bag somewhere else.
Exactly.
We need that veteran minimum slot. You never know when a big is going to go down again and with an Achilles injury, and they need to be picked up. All right, so moving to my buttery pick. I mean, it's probably the best news that I've heard in a long time, and in fact, it's such good news that I'm still in a good mood about it. And it's the fact that NCAA football, under the name of EA Sports Football, college football, is coming back. And I could not be more excited. Anthony, when I tell you just how happy I was when I heard that news, I mean, that literally, like, that's the thing that keeps me going now. Like, guys are so simple. You get one compliment from a girl, and then you feel like you could do like anything, for like 4 or 5 years.
I'll carry that compliment.
Yeah,
for 5 years.
Like you get a compliment, like, and it could be something simple, and it's like, hey, that shirt looks nice on you, and then it's like, yeah, for 10 years you're gonna remember that some random girl told you that shirt looked good on you, and you're gonna be like, yeah, it does, yeah, it did, and stuff, and like that's what this is. It's like, if there was any more motivation for me to just, keep chugging along, it's for the 2 to 3 years that it's going to be till we get this game. And there's so many positives with it. And I won't go too much into detail. If you're listening to this on YouTube or, anywhere else, then check out a video that I was a part of here on YouTube where me and 2 other gentlemen from the site, Adam and Matthew, we talked about, basically gave our wish list, like, really in depth. And we've written about it already, like, I think 4 or 5 times on the site since it came out. That's how excited everyone is at Vendetta that NCAA is making a return. In fact, even so, just because it was super cheap, I went out and bought NCAA 09 with my boy Darren McFadden on the front of it. Shout out to an Arkansas Razorback legend was about the last thing, the last time I really got to root for them. Well, there's the Bobby Petrino era, but then he lied to the athletic director because he had a wreck on his motorcycle with his mistress, and then it's been bad ever since. It's been so bad ever since. Like we are the laughing stock, like Vanderbilt and Kentucky was laughing at us for years. That's how bad it got.
I still think you're not Vanderbilt bad, but it's fair to say Kentucky football is fully passed.
No. Tennessee has taken over our spot as being close to the bottom of being a laughing stock of their fall from grace. And in fact, my alma mater, Arkansas State, where I received my master's, which is just right down the road from me, I could throw a stone at it and hit the stadium from here. They hired Butch Jones as their new head coach because Anderson, who took a job I think as at Utah State, I think he moved to. I think it's Utah State. He moved on. So yeah, Butch Jones, talk about his fall from grace, coaching at Arkansas State. But anyway, I digress. So happy that this game is back. There's a lot of things that I went for it. I'm happy that they're going to take their time with it. I'm someone that is willing that as much as I want this game and as bad as I want it, I am willing to wait if it means that I'm going to get the best product. So, but it's EA, so who knows? They could screw it up. There's a high chance that they could screw it up.
Yeah, listen, EA these days, I wouldn't say anything's a guarantee with them. Like, I'm sure people have played the new Maddens. I haven't bought a Madden since, I think Madden 17. This year I decided to buy it. And the fact that I turned it on and couldn't tell the difference between this Madden and Madden 17, I was like, this is insane. I was like, nothing gets better. The gameplay is the same. The graphics are the same. It's like they basically just copy and paste the same game over and over again. And so, but that's about Madden. College NCAA football was hands down my favorite EA Sports game back in the day. I know my buddy from college, Trav. He watches Toast Time, and he's gonna like this one. There was one time we had a PS3 set up in I think one of our dorm rooms, and we had NCAA 13 popped in. I don't want to bring this up too much, Trav, but I'm gonna anyway. I spanked him 104-52 with Alabama. It was somebody called the laundromat. There's Tide rolling all over the place. That's exactly what was happening.
That reminds me of the Cardell Jones story where he beat that kid 98 to 20. It's like a kid from a children's hospital.
He was he had
met Cardell Jones on through Make-A-Wish or something like that, and just completely destroyed the kid in college football.
Poor kid's got terminal cancer. He's gonna die in 6 months. Cardell Jones is spanking his ass in. That's such a great moment.
What?
That was such a great moment in college football history. It really was. But absolutely 100% love that about it. Can't wait for it to come back. Super pumped, super excited for it. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Now they need to bring now. I know I'm asking for too much, but give me NBA and NFL Street back, and I will be as happy as a pig in shit.
That and Fight Night too, because I'm not good at the UFC games. I can't grapple. I cannot grapple to save my life. I've tried.
Actually, the new UFC game, they finally put a mode in the game where it's stand up only, and you don't do the grappling. Could not have been happier about that mode.
But see, that's when you just need to just bring back Fight Night and just give us
exactly
classic boxers and some of the new guys.
Exactly. I would love to throw Tyson Fury against Muhammad Ali in a ring.
Oh, it'd be great.
That's something.
Then you can add a mode where it's Jake Paul is a boxer and Nate Robinson.
Oh yeah.
And Conor McGregor.
Hey EA, we're giving you free ideas here.
Yeah.
Pick up.
Yeah. Make sure my royalty check is in the mail.
Yeah, that's a fact.
My consulting fee.
uh, so we'll go on to my burnt toast this week. And I always love this part. We just got all the positive stuff out of the way. So now it's just negativity all the way through. And I thrive on negativity. So my burnt toast this week is Dave Portnoy. Now, why is he the burnt toast this week? Because Dave Portnoy's got paper hands. That's why.
Yeah. He was mine too, but I'm gonna let you go first.
All right.
I'll let you go first. Because there's honestly no other choice that could have gone right here.
No, not at all. I was thinking about it, and I was like, he's got to be in here.
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy, he was backing all the people. He was right with us. Like, he bought a crap ton of stock with AMC, GameStop, Nokia, Sundial. He was all on the meme stocks, all on them. Now, Tuesday morning, the meme stocks, all of them took a pretty big dip. And I can understand that he was in the midst of losing $700,000. Like, I get that, but at the same time, I know how much money you make, big guy. You can afford it. I'm sorry, but like, you can afford it. So it was just like, I get it. Like, he even sat there, like, he even put out like a press release on Twitter, saying like, you could call me a pussy, you could call me paper hands, whatever you want, but I'm not a suit. Now, I won't go as far as calling him a suit, but Dave Portnoy definitely got paper hands, couldn't hold on to the stocks. And you know what? It's just, hey, listen, we tried, but the hedge funds and the big stock guys, if they got Dave Portnoy to fold on those stocks, then we're just gonna have to look for the next GameStop and the next AMC. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but probably.
Yeah.
Although I do know it's gonna be the next big thing. Dogecoin to the moon. That will never die. I want to hear nothing. Dogecoin. Yeah. Dogecoin's taking us places. I'm telling you, it's gonna take us places.
Yeah, I still got my coin. I still got it.
Good. Never sell that coin. Never sell that coin.
Just because it's so cheap. I mean, like, I spent like $30 and I got like close to 400 shares.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it was so cheap. So, it's whatever. If it goes up, great. If not, I spent $30 on a meme, most expensive meme. And I say most expensive meme, but I still dropped a decent chunk of change on AMC and Naked. Naked's down pretty bad right now. Yeah. AMC's down, but AMC, obviously I still hold on to those just because COVID's got to end sooner or later. People going to go back to the theaters. In fact,
that's the one where I think has the potential to really go back up and flourish.
Just to kind of naturally go up, and I think a lot of people, the reason why I think GameStop succeeded and AMC, Naked, and the rest didn't, one, obviously market manipulation from Robinhood and the hedge funds, and now the SEC, not the college football conference. I saw a lot of funny. I saw a lot of funny jokes about that.
I used to get real confused about it until I learned.
Yeah, I saw a lot of jokes. I follow a couple of SEC. I follow a couple of SEC pages on Twitter. They were making jokes, like that and stuff. Again, I'm a pretty corny and punny person, so I find that stuff funny. But like the SEC, like instead of, investigating market manipulation, on the part of Robinhood and the hedge funds, Steve Cohen, owner of the Mets, if we want to, bring it back to sports, who had to delete his Twitter because he was getting bullied because people knew that his company had ties to Robinhood.
He was getting bullied by Dave Portnoy and Twitter.
And yeah, exactly. And then of course, there's like a new scandal every week with the Mets. Christian, the producer for us with the Tandemonium Sports Show, oh dude, we grill him so much about his team just because literally every week someone associated with that team
I don't understand
getting
what's going
fired.
On with the Mets. it's like they just can't get away from hiring sexual predators. I don't understand. Like
I don't know, man.
you think that'd be something that'd be like a little easier to find out about a person.
Yeah, well, a scumbag like Cohen is probably not the greatest judge of character.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, but just to kind of finish up my original point here, and keep talking about it because this was my burnt toast too. And, like I said, there really wasn't another choice to go here in this slot. But I think the reason why GameStop succeeded is because it was a consolidated effort, and it happened before people hopped on it. And then you had people hop on it late, not necessarily into GameStop, but to AMC because it was low, and to Naked because it was low, and all the other ones. And then there's like a late movement that you see on Wall Street Bets of where they're trying to consolidate and trying to get people to sell, like their Knock and their BlackBerry. Even Blockbuster, like people were trying to get Blockbuster up and try to get rid of those and, consolidate into AMC and everything. And so I think there's just a lot of people that got freaked out. A lot of people, it wasn't rising as quickly as they thought it would, even though it literally took almost the entire month to get GameStop to get to the point where it was for the squeeze to push it up, over 100, 200, 300, over $400, which is just crazy. It's crazy amounts of money that some people made, and kudos to them for making that. But I think when the AMC got to that $16-17 range on Monday, I think that's when a lot of people that were kind of freaked out about it because there wasn't an initial return. I think there was a lot of people that sold right then. And then of course, obviously it doesn't help when you have Robinhood blatantly restricting the free market and manipulating the market, stopping the buying and purchasing and trading of stocks in AMC and some other companies. And then they started to extend it to other companies and just kind of in general across the marketplace to make it look like it wasn't blatant market manipulation, even though it still was, it still is, and Congress needs to investigate it. Everyone should be, tweeting, messaging on Instagram, on Facebook, writing letters, email to their representative and to their congressman, shoot, even send it to Biden's office, President Biden's office, even go to past presidents, for goodness sakes. You want to hit up Bush or Bill Clinton or Obama, hit them up and be like, listen, dude, pull some of that ex-presidential weight. And do something. Biden, holla, or Obama, holla at your boy Biden.
Yeah, seriously, help us out.
Yeah, but it's and that's what I think happened. And so, but I'm gonna write it out just because I got money in it. It's whatever. If you lose money, it was a gamble. I knew it was a gamble to begin with anyway. But in the long run, a couple $100, it is something. But it's also not something at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're not some of those people that I've seen on Wall Street Bets because I joined that Reddit page when it was at like 4 million people were on it. Now it's grown to, I think the number reached like 9 million yesterday. People jumped on that Reddit page, and there were people in there that lost like 20 grand, 30 grand. I saw someone lost 150. I said, whoa. I was like, first of all, I don't know where you guys getting the money to buy all this stock from, but whatever. I mean, I'm not losing that much money. So
yeah. And I mean, like stocks, it's like gambling it's like betting on a sport game, or a sport game. God, I sound like someone that doesn't know what they're talking about. Sound like one of our interns.
Sound like you don't know how to make a timesheet.
Yeah. Don't know how to fix the SEO after Trey has put it in there 500 times
or do tags.
Do tags, yeah. But it's like betting on a basketball game. Betting on you're gonna bet on the Super Bowl. It's a gamble. It's what it is. You don't know how it's gonna go. There's a chance it goes up. There's a chance it goes down. There's a chance that, like in a football, in football, if you don't cover, you just break even and you don't get anything. That happens sometimes, and it was a gamble. If I made money, great. I kept telling my wife, I said I could break even on this thing. And once we completely get off the Robinhood app, that's probably what we're going to be. We're going to have to completely start from scratch. But just to know that I was a part of a historical event like this, that was a positive thing. And to know that for a brief moment in time, we had the billionaires, we had the hedge funds, we had the elites that think that they were untouchable. We touched them. That sounded kind of wrong when that came out, but you know what I mean.
Pause.
Had to go silent, let that sink in a little bit.
Oh,
But to know that they're not untouchable anymore, and that all it took was just one Reddit thread to really put the scare on them, and then hopefully, if anything, it just opened the eyes of the American public and to Congress enough, because I'm sure there's plenty of congressmen and women that are in the pockets of some of these hedge funds, and they make congressional decisions based on what the lobbyists want. That's how much I distrust my government. I do not trust anybody in there. Even if they do something for me, I'm like, what's the catch?
Yeah, there's always a catch.
Always. And usually it's your vote. That's usually the catch is the vote. But yeah, man. Sucks, but I'm gonna stick with AMC. I'm gonna hold. I got diamond hands, baby.
You got
diamond hands.
Jackson got diamond hands. He's not like Dave Portnoy. He's got paper hands.
Yeah.
I got diamond hands too. I'm holding on till I'm riding this thing to the ground. I'll put it that way. Riding this thing.
It's either to the moon or we crash and burn together, baby.
Hey, listen, I'm all for it. As long as Dogecoin takes me to the moon, because I know it will.
Hey, Bitcoin started out super low. I saw one person tweeted out, they retweeted a tweet from like 2015, and it was like, Bitcoin was at 275 at the time, and it was like, the person was like, so glad that I didn't buy into that, and they retweeted it now when it's like worth over $35,000 for one Bitcoin, and they're like, God, was I wrong?
That's like a life-changing mistake.
Yeah, imagine throwing $100 at Bitcoin when it was 275. Like just $100 at Bitcoin. You get 50 Bitcoin. 50 times 35. I can't do quick math. I'm not a mathematician. I'm a historian, but my God.
Yeah, you'd be walking away with a pretty penny. I'll tell you that. I'm not good at math either, so I'm not going to attempt to.
No. We need Alex. We need Alex here. Our math teacher.
Yeah. Alex is a resident math teacher. All math questions you can give to Alex Chick. He'll answer them for
you. So, master at AP Economics.
Oh man, yo, Jackson, you're on fire tonight, man. You give me knee slappers all night, bro.
I'm telling you, man, it's been a good day. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah,
I've been in a good mood for the past 2 days.
I love it. Oh man,
I'm working out again. I'm eating healthy, losing weight. NCAA football is coming back. It's been a hell of a week so far, man.
This kid's having one of the best weeks of his life, and I love to see it. Love to see it. So we will move on to our extra crispy categories. Now, I don't know who Jackson has in his extra crispy category, but I don't know if it's going to be this, but I've kind of been waiting to talk about it because I thought it was one of the funniest things I've seen recently. Extra crispy this week is my girl from Atlanta, Courtside Karen. Now, Courtside Karen.
Yeah, not mine, but man, that's a good one though.
Courtside Karen, as everybody I think has seen by now. Her and her husband, her husband at first was like talking shit to LeBron James on the court. And since there are no fans in the stadiums, Atlanta's, I think, only one of 3 or 4 teams to allow fans in the arena at all. And it's only 9% capacity, which you could imagine is really nothing. Like, I don't even know, not even 1,000, I don't think. Like, at least, like, maybe a couple hundred people.
Even the bigger NBA arenas, they're tiny. They're like 30, 35,000 max.
30,
it's not like a football stadium where, it's like 100,000 people.
Yeah, no. So
in there.
So they're right up on the court. Now, obviously, in today's NBA, you can hear everything the players say. You can hear everything the refs say. And if there are fans in the stands, you can hear everything that they say. So apparently there was a little back and forth between courtside Karen's husband and LeBron James. LeBron told him to sit his old steroid ass down, and then courtside Karen got her panties in a bunch, got up and started yelling at LeBron, "Don't talk to my husband like that," blah blah blah. And then it caused this whole big scene, and ended up her and whoever they were with all got thrown out of the arena because they had to stop the game because they were, basically having a verbal argument with LeBron James on the court while he's trying to play a basketball game. And I've seen a lot of different sides to this take. And I really don't want to say this, but I'm sorry. It's just like almost so evident at this point. You have the side of the player of LeBron if you like LeBron. Now, I know there is very, very few people that like LeBron, and you don't like LeBron because you're used to him kicking your team's ass for the past 15 years, most likely. So, like, I'm one of 3 fan bases that like LeBron. Like the Cavs fans like LeBron, Heat fans like LeBron, Lakers fans like LeBron because he's won us all championships. So we don't have any reason to not like the guy. Now, there's the side of the people that don't like him that are like, I heard some people saying like, oh, they should have never got kicked out. Like LeBron got them kicked out. I'm like, okay, that's all completely wrong. LeBron didn't get
so
them
pretty
kicked
much
out.
pretty much fans of the other 27 teams in the league.
Yeah, pretty much. So LeBron didn't get them kicked out. The Hawks, the Hawks security kicked them out because you can't sit there and start having an argument with a player on the court. Like, yeah, you can heckle them a little bit. You could you could jeer them, or you could like mess with them. Because like, believe me, I do it all the time when I go to Yankee games. Shout out to one game I went to playing the White Sox. I was screaming at Melky Cabrera to give us his ring back from the 2009 World Series since he was on a different team at this time. But I listen, it's just a thing. Like, you heckle the fans, and you know what? It's good for the NBA. Honestly, it's good for sports and good for the NBA to have the fan interaction start to come back. Like, regardless of how this situation turned out. I mean, listen, so what? You had a little verbal argument. Courtside Karen she got her 10 seconds of fame, and everyone's happy. And even after the game, LeBron was happy that the interaction did happen because he likes it when fans are there at the games, like booing him. Like, that's what LeBron's used to, like, if you remember the Kobe commercial from when he was about to retire, with everyone booing him, which I cry when I watch that commercial.
Yeah, and they're like singing, and he's like acting like he's orchestrating,
and they're all going, I hate you. I love that commercial. One of the best. But players love that. Like, they love the fan interactions. They love when fans are like getting in their face, like, or it's like yelling at them, like, you suck, blah blah blah, this and that. It serves as motivation to them. Like, I know one of the most famous cases of this was when Spike Lee fueled the Reggie Miller choke game against the Knicks. Literally, Spike Lee fueled that from Reggie Miller. And same thing with LeBron, same thing with Kobe. Like, some players, like, really love this stuff, and it's good for the NBA to really start to have this a little back. Like, it feels like we're starting to go towards the right steps of coming back from COVID. At least getting a little bit back to somewhat normalcy. So it's good to see. But at the end of the day, courtside Karen, you're my extra crispy, but hey, you got your 10 minutes of fame, so I'm sure you really don't mind.
Yeah, I think people need to stop making a big deal of it because it honestly wasn't that big of a deal.
At all.
I think the reason why it was a big deal is because the fans that were involved with it were courtside, and like you said, there's just a lack of fans in the stands. So obviously it's in LeBron's ear more, but we know LeBron can hear and see very well because there's the video from his first season in LA. When he was injured, and you had people all the way up in the nosebleeds of the Staples Center, which is, one of the bigger arenas in the NBA, and it's fully jam-packed. And you had a group screaming at LeBron, and he looks up at them and just points at them, acknowledging them, and he's all the way down on the bench watching the game. So, whoops, hit my mic there. Still getting adjusted to this new setup. But yeah, it's not a big deal. People need to stop making it a big deal. That was something that Skip and Shannon talked about today. Again, I follow them just because they give me easy things to write about or discuss on podcasts and any other thing because they're idiots. And but yeah, it's no big deal. People, she got her 10 minutes of fame, like you said. She only got her 10 minutes of fame is because people were giving it to her.
Yeah.
They're giving her attention, and that's the type of person I'm gonna, I'm not the type of person that instantly judges people, but just going off that, yeah, she's that type of person, and there's a bunch of people that are like that, and she just fits the mold of the type of person that craves attention, and she got it. So, but my burnt this week, it has to deal with football. Now, I know we haven't got to talk a lot of football because for the first time in a while, for the first time in this show, there was no football this past weekend. So you would think that there was nothing to talk about football-wise, except for when we get to our, prediction at the end of the episode. And, obviously, the Super Bowl is going to be the biggest thing to talk about. So that's obviously going to be what we're going to give our predictions to and for. But you would be wrong if you thought that, because we live in a world where Colin Cowherd has one of the largest platforms to speak off of. And him and Tony Romo both are going to be my burnt toast. And it's because which Romo I kind of get because he's calling the Super Bowl and CBS has the Super Bowl. So, I kind of get it where Romo's trying to drive up the intensity and the drama of the Super Bowl, because if you drive up the drama, that drives up the hype. That means more people going to tune in. And, I'm sure the numbers are going to be through the roof because there's probably not going to be as many Super Bowl parties. So you're going to have individuals watching instead of like 20, 30 people watching at one person's house on one TV. But it's this narrative surrounding Mahomes' legacy and what this means. Whereas where Mahomes Romo and to an extent Cowherd too, they were talking about how basically saying that if Mahomes wins this, then he's on the GOAT path. 4 years in, third year as a starter, already has an MVP and 2 Super Bowls. And it's incredible. The fact that he's already got an MVP in a Super Bowl. There are guys that go their entire careers and they never get an MVP and they never get a Super Bowl, or they only get one of each. Like, look at Aaron Rodgers. Look how great Aaron Rodgers is. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. And he's only got the one Super Bowl. Got a couple MVPs, but he's only got the one Super Bowl. And that's really all these players care about. Mahomes already has one, and he's fixing to play for his second one in his third season as a starter. And he's like my age or a little bit older than me. We got out of college at around the same time. I think, I don't know. I don't really know his age that well. But then it's like on the other side of it, they're talking about how it's going to be so hard for him to catch Brady if Brady wins the Super Bowl, and that this sets his legacy back so much, and that it could be near impossible to catch Brady if he doesn't win the Super Bowl. And it's like, that's what they're trying to drive it up as. And they're also trying to drive it up as like a passing of the torch thing, which, first of all, I hate the passing of the torch thing for this Super Bowl, because that was the narrative for the past 2 times.
Yeah.
Because they lost, the Chiefs lost in the AFC Championship game to the Patriots, and that was like, oh, is this going to be the passing of the torch? And it's like, no, it's not, because the Patriots won and they go on to the Super Bowl. The next year, you've got the Chiefs win the game, and it's like, if you're going to have a passing of the torch moment, that's it, because he beat Mahomes beat Brady and Belichick. He beat the Belichick defense. That's always been a good defense. It wasn't that great this year because you had a lot of the starters opt out, but still, it was the same Patriots that were winning Super Bowls and going to Super Bowls those past couple years, and you beat them. That should have been it. This is just a dead horse that they keep beating for views, and I don't like it when people do that. I don't like it when shows do that. And and it's not going to be impossible for him to catch it. And it's not going to be tough for Mahomes to catch up to Brady or to surpass Brady in the GOAT conversation if he loses to Brady this week. Like, is that what you're saying? Because the last time I checked, it's not just quarterbacks on the field playing against each other. Okay. This is not like the quarterback challenge from Pro Bowl week, from like 15 years ago. That's not it. It's not one-on-one. It is 11 on 11. Brady isn't on the defense and Mahomes isn't on the defense. They're not impeding each other in any way or competing like that. They can only control the things that they can control, and football sometimes can be a game of chance, a game of inches. Sometimes the ball rolls your way, sometimes it doesn't. I know I'm using a lot of like stereotypical things here, but it's true. There's so much that you can't control. So if Brady loses, or if Mahomes loses to Brady, then so what? He's got a full career ahead of him. The dude's going to be in the league for 20 years. What if they lose this year and they go on a tear and he wins 3 in a row? Or if he wins 4 in a row? Then can he no longer be in that GOAT conversation? Because, well, he lost to a 43-year-old Brady. Yeah, but he also lost, if that is the case, if Mahomes loses, he also lost to a great defense that's got legit ballers on that squad and some of the best defenders in the league. He lost to Bruce Arians, who is a good coach. He lost to an offense that finally started clicking because Brady, like LeBron, just starts bringing in all of this talent. Leonard Fournette, freaking LaShawn McCoy. Did you know that he was on the roster? I forgot he was on the roster until I saw him tweet about it. I'm like, LaShawn McCoy is on the Buccaneers? When did that happen? You mean they got Jones, Fournette, and McCoy, all 3 of them in the backfield? Like, what the heck? And then not only that, but he's got Gronk. He brought Gronk out of retirement. Antonio Brown, never thought I was going to see him on a football field again. He's in a Super Bowl. It's crazy. And I'm tired of these stupid narratives that they were trying to push, because it's unnecessary and it makes you sound like a desperate idiot when you're talking about it, trying to find an angle about it and going for views. It's gonna be a damn good football game. Why can't we just accept that? Why can't we just see it as a good football game? Because Brady is older and Mahomes is now. That's an established fact. That was an established fact when Mahomes won the MVP and then the next year won the Super Bowl. He is the now. He's the now. Brady is on his way out. Even if Brady wins the Super Bowl, I kind of just started ranting there. But I'll pass it off to you.
Nah, you're good. Listen, you said, couldn't have said it better myself, but I'll tell you this. I am like so not a big fan of this whole talking legacy thing with a guy that's in his this is Mahomes' 3rd year, right? This is 3rd year in the league.
It's his third year as the starter. Because he sat his first year behind Alex Smith.
Yeah. So I don't like talking legacy about a guy that's just 3rd year as a starter. It's his 4th year in the league. I mean, if they didn't sign him to the 10-year massive extension they gave him, he would still be on his rookie contract. Okay. So can we stop talking about can we not bring up legacy right now? It's just that bothers me a lot. And also, I'm sorry, but so what if your team loses to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? Tom Brady, as it stands today, career-wise, is the greatest quarterback of all time. There's really not much that you can dispute about that. I mean, it's his 10th Super Bowl. 10th Super Bowl. He's won 6, looking for 7. Okay, those types of rings are unheard of in football. You don't win 6 championships in football going for your 7th. And this also comes after a time. Some people don't really bring this up, and I don't know why, because I always think about this as like something insanely crazy. Tom Brady, prior to when he just went on this tear with the Patriots and they were in the Super Bowl practically every single year up until the Chiefs started knocking on that door last year and then broke through and won. He didn't win a Super Bowl. I think it was from 2004, I want to say. Yeah, the end. It was the back-to-back. There was the 2004. Then he lost to the Giants twice. Then he finally got back there again in 2014 and beat the Seahawks. That was he went 10
Yeah,
years without winning a Super Bowl. And then
and only went to two of them in between there.
it only went to two in between that time. And now all of a sudden the guy, I mean, listen, he's Tom Brady and LeBron James, so many similarities. Those two guys age like fine wine. They don't age like moldy bread like Brett Favre did. No, no, no. They age like fine wine. Tom Brady gets better with age. LeBron James goes and leads the league in assists in his 16th year in the league. I mean, it's just ridiculous to think about. But Tom Brady is no doubt the GOAT as of right now. Even if Mahomes loses this game, and then Tom Brady goes out of the league, and Mahomes just has a Tom Brady-esque run, something crazy like 9 Super Bowl appearances, like 7 titles or something, which I personally think could very well be in the reach of the Chiefs, because anytime the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, it's going to be very hard for me to bet against them, like extremely hard, unless he's playing Deshaun Watson with a stacked team. I don't really know if I'll be able to bet against him in the Super Bowl, but I just don't like this legacy. I don't like the legacy talk with a guy that's in his 4th year in the league, and the whole passing of the torch is it's such a cliche, just like it's just such an annoying thing, because it's like, I mean, these guys are all their own people. Like, what are you passing the torch for? What? There's still, like, even with Mahomes, there's still 5 to 6 other amazing quarterbacks in the league. So, like, I mean, is Mahomes the best out of all of them? Yeah, but at the same time, they're all good too, and most of them will probably end up winning Super Bowls by the time it's all said and done. But I hate that take. Fully agree with you. It's very annoying.
And just the blatant ignoring that. I don't get. I do not understand how people don't get it, where it's like there's a full team involved. There's what, 54 players on a roster, 52, 54
Yeah,
players on
52,
an
I
active
think.
roster,
50, yeah, something
52,
like that.
53, 54,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. And one quarterback gets all the blame, or all the glory. It's just ridiculous. Like, are there great quarterbacks? Yeah. I wrote an article today talking about Andrew Luck. And if you look at the statistics of Andrew Luck and how those Colts teams played, yeah, he elevated
Well,
them. Like, with them, they're 11-5. Without him, they're
Imagine what
four
the
and
Colts would
12.
have been this year with bad defense and Andrew Luck instead of
Oh
Philip
my gosh,
Rivers.
that's why I think he should come back. He probably
The
won't, but that'd be pretty great if he did. If
Yeah,
they did, Super Bowl favorites right behind the Chiefs out of
oh,
the AFC
absolutely, 100%,
easily.
100%. But no, I fully agree with you. It's just an annoying take, and to see like all these guys on, like, the major networks continuously talking about this stuff, just to like fill airtime. That's all I really feel like that they do, is just fill airtime with some of these ridiculous statements. I'm sorry, but it's just bad work. Why don't you do some more? Why don't you talk about somebody else?
Yeah,
And
it's
also,
it's because it's a Wednesday in Super Bowl
yeah,
week
yep,
when there was no
exactly.
football.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. I will say one more thing before I move on to my to our next picks. That whole quarterback thing, where the quarterback gets all the praise or all the hate, it's really funny, because it only matters for certain quarterbacks, right? Like, ever notice how it
Mhm.
only matters for certain quarterbacks that they'll get the praise? Like, what about last year when the Niners went to the Super Bowl? I feel like not a single person, like, in the media, was talking about Jimmy G. It was, oh, Nick Bosa and that Niners defense is real. Like, they're sick. They're awesome. Oh, so now all of a sudden the quarterback doesn't get no love, even though Tom Brady on a number of occasions was carried by a great defense and really didn't do much. Peyton Manning carried by a great defense, could barely
Yeah,
even throw in Super
yeah,
Bowl 50, and he
yeah,
got the praise for winning another. Like, come on. I mean, really. Like, you guys pick and choose where to use the whole the quarterback is the most important part of the team aspect. Like, it's so annoying when they do that.
yeah. The stinker of a Super Bowl, like, what was it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago now?
Oh, Patriots,
The
Rams.
Rams and
Oh,
Patriots Rams, arguably the worst Super Bowl of my lifetime, maybe of the Super Bowl
I think
era.
it is. I think it is a super. I think it is the worst, easily worst Super Bowl of my lifetime. Let's see. I'm 24 years. Yeah, no, easily worst Super Bowl in the past 24 years. I'll tell you that. So, moving on, and I'm gonna switch back to the NBA right now for my soggy toast of the week, and that would be Mr. Hingus Pingus himself, Kristaps Porzingis of the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I already said it before, not a Knicks fan, but let me tell you, what him forcing his way out of the Knicks was one of just like the most, I'm just gonna be real. I'm please. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna like let it out here. KP was such a bitch move. It was the biggest bitch move like I've seen somebody do. I'm sorry. He was hurt for like 2 years in a row, then sees how bad the team is doing without him on the floor, and then goes, "Oh yeah, I want to get traded." But even at that, the stupidity of Dolan and that organization is, "Oh yeah, sure, let's trade you." You have him under contract for another year. You can't convince him to stick around for one more year to see if you could make it work. And then if he wanted to leave in free agency, he would just leave. I mean, and what did you get? What did you get back for him? Dennis Smith Jr., a couple of draft picks. I mean,
who's going in the G League now?
Going to the G League, please. But at least from the Knicks side, they ended up getting they got a little bit of draft capital from the Mavs, and KP. I mean, his tenure in Dallas has been a disaster. I mean, he's like never. I feel like he's never on the floor, and even when he is, it's like he just like doesn't really impact the game as much as you really feel like he should. Like last year during the playoffs, him and Luka, it like they actually like had like a little chemistry going against that first round against the Clippers, and then KP gets hurt. So it's up to Luka, and that's where Luka, pretty much
in other news, the sky is blue.
Yeah, like the sky. That's where Luka blew up because he just took on the Clippers by himself and managed to get that to 6 games. But KP is just like to me, he's just a big joke. Michael Rappaport, undoubtedly one of the funniest things I've heard from a Knicks fan on the night they drafted him. And you know what, KP, I think the Knicks are better off. They're better off without someone like you. Because if you're gonna go and sit there and force your way out of a team where you know damn well that they are rebuilding, like it's a continuous rebuild with the Knicks. Okay, it's the Knicks. You can't expect them to go and just grab whatever free agent they want because the organization is just so bad and so mismanaged that nobody wants to come here. Like, I'm sorry, but all I hear on sports talk radio for New York is, "Oh, the Knicks are looking at this guy and they're talking to Kevin." They're like, this whole like the last offseason was
they're gonna get KD and Kyrie get the number 1 pick and
yeah. You remember that? That was going around. It was the big dude.
I remember seeing the edits on Twitter, the Photoshop pictures and
KD, Kyrie, and Zion all on the Knicks, and they 0 for 3 on that one. But I mean, listen, man, nobody wants to like. It takes a lot to come to the Knicks and try to win and try to will this team back into contention. Like, that's why, looking back on it now, I give so much credit to Amari Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony for coming here and attempting to bring the Knicks back to relevancy. And like, at the time it was, New York Knicks basketball. That was probably the most excited I've seen people for the Knicks. And I was even a little excited. I mean, I'm a Laker fan. I don't even like the Knicks, but it was just exciting just to see like the New York Knicks like good. Like they were the number 2 seed in the East. They were in the playoffs. Melo was a superstar. Stoudemire was a superstar. It was just good to see. And I know I just went off on a little bit of a tangent, but back to KP. KP, you're a soggy toast because you haven't done nothing on the Mavs. You forced your way out of the Knicks for what? Because now the Mavs have a worse record than the Knicks, which is embarrassing because you got Luka Doncic, okay? The Knicks best player is Julius Randle, most improved, yes, but he's not MVP candidate like Luka is, okay? So get out of here, KP, please.
Julius Randle low key popping off. Kudos,
Nah,
kudos to
low
him.
key, he is. He's not doing those. He's not doing those spin moves into triple teams anymore. Just turning over the
Yeah,
ball.
yeah. No, Pascal Siakam does that now.
It was like the
I saw a video. I saw a video. It was Pascal Siakam. And it was like a 20-minute video. It was like Pascal Siakam spin move highlights from the 2020 season or something like that. And it was just every time he was triple spinning into the paint. It was great. But yeah, KP has been a disappointment, and honestly, the Mavs as a whole have been pretty disappointing. They're 8-13 right now, and they're playing tonight. But I think they're down. Let me look. What's tonight? The third. They're down to the Hawks right now by 3 at half, 56-53 to the Hawks, which I said the Hawks were a playoff team, before the season started, and they are the 6th seed right now, and so are my Memphis Grizzlies. My Memphis Grizzlies are a 6th seed also. And we're missing Jaren Jackson and Justice Winslow. Just got to throw that out there. Valanciunas hasn't played in like a week because of COVID protocol. It's whatever. It's whatever. 7-game win streak snapped against the Pacers because they got their cheeks clapped against the Pacers. But it's whatever. It happens. But yeah, I know KP's been a big disappointment. Luke has been great, of course, but just that Mavericks team as a whole has been pretty soggy toast.
Yeah, you could put all them up, like excluding Luka. Like you could just put the entire team on soggy toast, to be honest.
All right, so mine for my soggy toast is, it's again kind of footballish, but it's not a player or anything. It's whatever the committee is that's in charge of designing the logos for the Super Bowl. Because good Lord, are they bland. They have been the same since Super Bowl 51, and they've just been bland. It's just basic Roman numerals with the just with the Lombardi trophy in the middle, and that's it. The conspiracy theorist inside of me thinks that they struck a deal with EA where they're like, listen, we want to make our game look more realistic. So can you keep the patches the same every year? So that way, in our game, if someone goes to the Super Bowl 10 years from now, the patch looks exactly the same. The Roman numerals just changed, like where we put that in the coding, it's whatever, but it's just, they're so boring and so bland. I miss some of I miss the themed, like they were pretty much themed, started like all the way back at the beginning, like even if they were just changing the font and the text and the colors up a little bit, but then they started to get really creative with them, and like the themes represented where they were, and sometimes those like those patches and the way that they look, they bring back memories for some people. I was watching highlights today because it's the I forget what year anniversary, you'd probably know it, of the Giants winning the Super Bowl
13 years ago to the day.
Yeah, 13 years ago to the day. I was about to say, because
the greatest catch in Super Bowl history.
They showed it, and it's the patch on them. It's like basically it's the United States. It's like the whole United States with the Roman numerals on it, and that was the patch. That was the logo for that year. And I was thinking, I was like, Anthony and maybe some other Giants fans, that brings back, like fond memories. You see that and you're instantly like, dude, great football game, huge underdogs, make it in the wild card, make it all the way to the Super Bowl, going up against real giants, juggernauts, and the Patriots undefeated, first team to go 18-0. And then the Giants in the New York Football Giants win, one of the greatest highlights in football history. Eli Manning refusing to go down and somehow escapes the pocket. He's got 3 dudes trying to take him down, somehow gets out of the pocket, chunks up a prayer, and the catch on the helmet. Like, that is like pristine nostalgia. Now, if you're a diehard New England fan,
you're making me really happy. You're making me really happy right now, Jackson. I'm going to close my eyes and envision it.
Just go ahead. Just enjoy it. But that's what I'm saying. They're memorable, and they bring back certain memories for people. Like, especially if you're a kid, because I mean, as kids, there's a reason why kids things are big, bright, and colorful. It's because we remember those things easier. And as a kid, if you're watching that Super Bowl and the Giants are your team and you see that logo, then you're gonna think back to all those good things, the good feelings that you had. It's the same thing. When they, were doing that with the World Series, they did that with the World Series. Sometimes they do it with the finals. Sometimes, which they don't really do it anymore now. It's the same finals logo.
I
For
miss
the
when they used to
Wild.
put the Larry O'Brien trophy like on center court, like
Yeah,
on half court. That was those were
yeah,
one of my favorite ones.
yeah. I know.
They
It's
need
and
they
it's
need to
just
bring those back. Let's be a little more creative, guys. I mean, look, hey, go look at WWE. Every WrestleMania, the
yeah,
logo and the emblem is completely different, and it represents where they are. Like they're at Richard James Stadium in Tampa. So Tampa Bay, I don't know what's going on with them. Like I don't want to really cut you off, but I just got to say this really quickly. Tampa Bay has just been blowing up, and like I don't know what's going on. They got the Rays. The Rays were in the World Series. The Lightning won the Stanley Cup. The Bucks are in the Bucks are in the Super Bowl. Then you have the Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay and WrestleMania is in Tampa Bay. Like I'm sorry, but like can I get some of that? Like that's not fair.
yeah. And I mean, it's also funny because I was just thinking this because I'm looking at the patches right now, and then there's like some real fun ones where Super Bowl 31 looks like it was played in New Orleans, so it's got like that New Orleans, like Bourbon Street type thing
Mm.
to it. But Super Bowl 50, I always laughed because if you had Super Bowl 50 with the Roman numerals, it would just be an L. So
Super Bowl
so
L.
they broke tradition one time and
Yeah,
put
they
the
just
actual like Arabic numbers of 5 and 0 on there. They broke tradition one time because they're just like we can't just have an L.
this Super Bowl L.
But I mean, like some of these patches, dude, they're just so cool looking. Yeah, Super Bowl, like Super Bowl 36. Yeah, dude, there's so many great patches, and they're just so bland now because it's literally just the Roman numeral, and then in between the Roman numerals, you got the Lombardi Trophy. It's just, it's one of those things where you see like in the memes where it's like, graphic design, is my passion, or got a degree in graphic design, and literally it's just Roman numerals, and you change the font, you know. It's like at least like Super Bowl 48. I'm looking at one at Super Bowl 48. It's Roman numerals, but it's got the stadium in the city of wherever it was played, on the patch. At least then, there's something, you know. Just give me something, just something different. I'm
Yeah,
tired of
really.
looking at the same stupid thing over again. I don't know why this has turned into such a long rant and why it grinds my gears so much, but it freaking does.
No, man, hey, I fully hear you. Like they like I understand. Like why do we always go backwards in things? Like the Super Bowl we talked about with the finals we talked about with just like the way they made the themes and like designed the like the patches for them. Like they don't do that anymore. Like what happened to like NBA finals jerseys where like they had like specifically made jerseys just for the finals, like finals patches all over it, like it really gave you the feel that it was the finals. I think I remember the Warriors and the Raptors finals. It honestly, to me, there was like it looked like a regular season game. There was no logo on the
Yeah.
court. Like there was nothing, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "What's going on here? Like, is this the finals, or is this is this like Halloween night, and then this is like a primetime game?" I was like, "Come on, what are we doing here?" But
Yeah.
they got like I
Now,
don't understand why we go backwards with these things.
apparently, also you can buy a bunch of Super Bowl patches on eBay. So now I may have to start a Super Bowl patch collection. That may be
that
that may
that
be my
actually doesn't
next.
sound like a bad collection. I'll tell you that
Just
right
just
now.
like just like behind me, replace the Game of Thrones with like a big like case of some sort, and
Yep.
it's displaying all the patches from Super Bowl 1 to Super Bowl L and beyond.
You know which ones are my favorite? 42 and 46.
Do you hold much attachment to the ones from the uh Bill Parcell era? Was it Bill Parcell?
Yeah, the LT
Yeah,
days. Uh
yeah,
no, honestly, not really. Well, I wasn't alive for those. That was
yeah.
86, 86, and 90. I believe I wasn't alive for them, so I'm not. It's like
You're not too attached to those Super Bowls.
nah, nah. I'm
I get
like,
that. I get that. I don't feel the
yeah,
same way about the Cardinals, winning a World Series in the 60s, or the
yeah,
Dolphins
no,
going
like
undefeated in 72,
like
71.
like it's like it gets hard for me to really, hold on to that too much. Like the only thing I do hold on to about the one in 1990 was uh we were the team that started the beating the Bills in the Super Bowl for 4 years in a row. Even though it was basically just because their kicker missed a chip shot field goal and lost them the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
yeah,
But
but
hey, listen,
hey, that's how Bill Belichick got his first Super Bowl.
exactly. Hey, a win's a win. Oh man. So we'll move on to toast of the week. Now, toast of the week this week, if you've been following me and you've been keeping up on my social media, you know who my toast of the week is this week. That is this guy, the CEO of Robinhood, Vlad. All right, this weasel dirtbag, just you're a criminal burglar. That's exact like just everything you want to say about this man. He is. So I don't need to go into all the stuff that happened last week and why I'm mad at this guy, why I don't like him. You could go and watch my emergency press conference about what happened, and you could very well see how angry I was about all that. But but now what I've started to see, it's just like this guy, he's a real son of a bitch. He's a real piece of garbage. Like he really is. He's a real piece of garbage. He's got commercials rolling right now for Robinhood, and they have the freaking audacity, the goal on these guys to put up a commercial. We're here for the everyday man, and then they showing like the video going of like all like everyday people like gardeners and like grocery store workers, and like yeah, like everybody's an investor. And I'm just sitting there like watching this commercial, and I'm sitting up in my bed, and I'm like, you piece of shit, you motherfucker. Like I swear to God, they got me like bringing out the Michael Corleone inside me, and I'm like
Yeah,
getting all
have
pissed
to,
off.
grab some of your boys up there in Yonkers.
Yep, you
Some
know it.
connections.
Yeah, yeah, you know it. Don't worry, because listen,
Vlad's maple leaf
He
delicious.
doesn't want to get me involved, because otherwise, I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. Put it
Mm.
that way. But I just so like I can't like I actually couldn't believe that they had the audacity to roll a commercial like that. They're basically sitting there and they're going like if you could have like a narration. It goes, "Hello and welcome to Robinhood. We're here for the everyday investor, and only if it doesn't hurt the money of our big hedge fund friends." It's basically all it is for them. They're like, yeah, the everyday guy can make money, as long as our hedge fund friends are happy and they didn't lose any money. But if our hedge fund friends lost money, we'll just take yours. Like
Yep.
it's just stupid, just ridiculous. This son of a bitch. My toast of the week, weasel dirtbag. I can't stay. Just turned his back on every regular person. Or you know what? I can't even say he turned his back on everybody, because this was probably something that he he already knew all along. If something ever came to this, he'd go and protect his big hedge fund friends. He knew that. He's not with for the small fry. He's just here to just put on a little front and get people on the app. But you know what? I would say within a year, Robinhood's probably going to be dead. So, Vlad, fuck off.
Yeah, dude. I wrote an article too, like when the whole Robin Hood
Yes,
debacle was going
loved your
on,
article. Loved it.
and just literally, tearing into the guy. Like he's a garbage human being, a waste of oxygen. We're tearing through the
Yeah,
ozone
there you
layer
go.
right now.
There you
So
go.
there's a limited amount of that clean
Uh-huh.
air left, and
Uh-huh.
it's wasted on that man's
It's
lungs.
wasted on this
Okay,
piece of
it's just
fucking asshole.
garbage of a human being. And I just, I haven't got to watch it yet just because it's 2 hours long. But I really want to watch where Elon Musk interviewed him. Daddy Elon, taking us to
Daddy Elon
Mars.
taking us to
Yeah. Um,
Mars.
but apparently he just absolutely tore into the guy for 2 straight hours. And first off, I didn't even know Elon did interviews. So there's that. So literally a guy that, I mean, I know he gives interviews, but I mean like actually interviewing people. I didn't know he did that. But obviously, this Vlad dude pissed him off enough to do that. And Elon is one of the good guys. Like I know
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy, he lost 700K, in the good fight. It would not surprise me, in the slightest bit that Elon would be willing to put millions on the line. I mean, he is the richest man in the world right now. He overtook Jeff Bezos like at the beginning of the year because because he's a smart guy. Who knew that if you treat your customers like people and treat your employees like people, that people would be more than willing to buy your product and buy into what you're doing and spend a ton of
It's an
money.
amazing concept, right?
Who knew? Who knew that?
Who knew? Couldn't have been
Yeah.
couldn't have been me. I would have
Coulda,
never
coulda,
known that.
No, absolutely. You mean I make millions and millions of dollars every year, and you mean if I take half of that and put it back into my employees that they want to work harder, paying them an actual livable wage? Like, who would have thought?
Albert Einstein couldn't have figured that one out.
Like, what? But no, he is a garbage of a human being, and like I said, I don't have too much faith in our government, and I just started laughing because the Super Bowl logo was on my yeah, I wasn't even paying attention, and it's just so bland because it's just LV. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that. But like it's just so garbage. Just to go back to my take, Ellen of V, and then
I love how it's just right there in front of you. It said, "Yeah, talking shit, Jackson. I'm right here."
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were there. Wouldn't have said it if I didn't know you were right behind me. But again, yeah, this Vlad dude. Hope he goes to prison. Again, I don't have too much hope that he will, but a guy can dream, can he?
Yeah, it's probably some $1 million fine, slap on the wrist, wash.
Yeah, or like some other hedge fund, as like a thank you, will buy out Robinhood or something like that, and then close Robinhood down, but they buy it for a ridiculous amount of money as just like hey, thank you, you did good, kid.
Yeah.
You can here's some millions, and go away, do something else.
Yeah, better not end up walking the streets of Yonkers anytime soon. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, all the Redditors gonna jump them. Oh, that'd be so much fun to see.
Not even the Redditors. Anthony Fontanello.
Yeah.
Me myself.
Yeah. All right. So my soggy toast is it's kind of a weird one because I was kind of stuck on this when I was thinking about it earlier. I thought about Vlad, but I was like, that's Anthony's definitely got some some
toast
for that man.
Your toast of the week, right?
Yeah, toast of the week. Toast of the week. Yeah. Did I say something else?
Yeah,
I meant toast of the week.
You said soggy.
Oh yeah.
I know what you meant.
This was my soggy.
That's yeah.
That was my soggy. Not the Pepsi. The Pepsi's great, but the Super Bowl. But my toast of the week, I'm gonna go with the Brooklyn Nets, and here's what I mean by that. The phrase "defense wins championships."
Went out the
These
window.
Guys have never heard of it. These guys have never heard of it. Here's some of the stat lines, okay? Like just the end of the game stats. Last night against the Clippers, it was a dub. Good for them. 124 to 120. Previous game, a loss to the lowly Wizards, 149-167.
Oh my God.
And then, so I mean, they're scoring a ton, but they gave up 146.
I mean,
So
even the
it's
end
like,
of that, even the end of the end of that Wizards game was just
yeah. And then
just
their defense has given
atrocious.
up 125, 128. They held the Heat to 85 points, but they only scored 98 points. 124, 113, 135, 123, 115, 109, 116, 116, 110, 109, 96 against the Jazz. That's a good win. Then 122, 141. It's crazy. Defense does not exist for these guys.
Nope.
This could literally be the first time a team in NBA history could end the season with the number one offense and literally the worst defense.
It's amazing.
And it blows my mind. They literally have to score 150 points a night practically to beat a team. Whatever the line is point wise, always bet the over. Always.
Yeah, I've started to do this myself. I love when Nets games are on because I just bet the over. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, I could look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure they got to be averaging at least like 125 points a game, 130 maybe.
Yeah, and
And
they're
I
gonna
know,
give up.
and they don't play defense, so they're giving up 110 to 120 easy.
Yeah, yeah. If the
And
line
that's
is
a bad team. That's a bad team.
yeah, if the line is below 300, take the over. Like
Yeah,
instantly. Without hesitation, take the over. It blows my mind. I honestly don't see
yeah. The
how
Nets average 122 points a game, but they give up 117 a game.
that's crazy. Like
That is crazy.
a game, if you're scoring 122 a game, your point differential should at least be 16, 17 points.
Like, that's
Not
crazy.
it should not be a
Wow.
2 or 3 possession game and you're averaging 122 points and your point differential is literally like a 3-pointer and 2 free throws. Like
that's just nuts. Actually, what's also crazy? They're shooting 50% as a team on the season.
yeah, no, their offense great.
Offense,
Fantastic.
fire.
If
Nuclear bombs.
literally you just need a defensive stop and they win the game. Like that's how good their offense is. But it blows my mind. And I still think they're the best team out east. And there's still a long ways to go before the end of the season. So maybe they can get it figured out. But I just want to know, do they do any defensive drills at all in practice?
They must not. They must not. Steve Nash probably is Steve Nash comes from the Mike D'Antoni coaching tree. So
yeah.
No defense to be had.
Yeah,
Offense
and
only.
Mike D'Antoni is the assistant coach there, so there is absolutely no offense or no defense.
None.
Offense.
None whatsoever.
But yeah, defense wins championships. They've never heard of that phrase whatsoever. It blows my freaking mind. I just don't get it. I don't get it. They're winning games, but then they lose games that are really questionable because you're giving up last second 3-pointers to freaking Russell Westbrook.
Of all people. Like the Bradley Beal hitting a 3, that's understandable. Throwing the ball away, being lazy with it, and then Russell Westbrook hitting the game-winning 3.
Yeah, if I had more time, I would want to know like what the percentages are of what other teams are hitting on against the Nets, like the opposing team's 3-point percentage and everything. Let's just pick a random game down here. Let's pick their game against the Bucks. They won this game, but I am curious. I know we're pushing a little late on time here, but I'm just curious. Oh yeah, the Bucks shot 80 they shot 83% from free throw. They shot 43% from the field that game, and they only lost by 2 points.
It's that's like unbelievable.
123 to 125. The Nets won that game.
Like, my God, like that is just some that is just crazy. That's just some crazy stat line. Honestly, I can't even.
Yeah. Here's another thing: they can't rebound to save their lives because
they have no rebounding whatsoever. Besides, outside of DeAndre Jordan, they can't hope to get a rebound. So that must be why they're just like, we better hope we make our shots because we're not getting the board.
Gosh, it's crazy. But yeah, they're shooting it efficiently. This Bucks game, they won by 2 points. They made the exact same number of shots, 46, that the Bucks did, but they did it in only 84 shot attempts compared to 105. So 21 less shot attempts and still won the game because they're shooting it so efficiently.
Yeah.
Again, the offense is there.
Yeah, no, the offense is there. All they got to do is learn how to make a couple stops a game, and they might be good. That's all I'm asking. Just a couple stops a game. I don't want you. I'm not asking you to have the Lakers defense from last season, but I'm just asking you to make an attempt. I try to even play defense.
Please. You know what help defense is.
They have not a clue. Defense? Nah, I don't know defense. I just know to shoot.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. Oh, but so we'll start to wrap it up. But we'll give you guys our predictions for next week. I know mine's something about Super Bowl. Because hey, it's Super Bowl week. Got to throw this in there. Still got to talk. I talk a little bit about it, but so my prediction next week for the Super Bowl. Okay. Tell you what, I said I was going to be doing bold takes only a couple weeks ago. No one wanted to believe me when I was high on the Browns beating the Steelers in the first round without Kevin Stefanski, and boy was I right. So you know what? Tom Brady throws for 5 touchdowns and wins his 7th ring.
Wow. 5?
5.
Wow. That is a bold take.
Yeah, see? Hey, listen. This is 2021. Bold takes only over here. And I will be one that will admit when I'm wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong. But when I'm right, I'm going to boast about it.
Trust me, I've been wrong about the Patriots all year, dude. I have, at least Brady has proved me wrong. I'm not going to be the type of person that, and I see this in the media all the time too, where I see people that they hate Tom Brady so much, to the point where it's like he'll make it, like they'll talk crap about him all year, how terrible he is, how, he's on his last legs and everything. And then he makes it to the Super Bowl and he loses. And they're like, see, I told you they weren't going to win the Super Bowl. I told you. And it's like, yeah, but you still won
he still
won the NFC.
1 year in the NFC, and he already won the conference.
The team was still good. Brady may have had, quite a few Jameis Winston games, but I still think the Chiefs take it away. And my take is that I think Brady has another Winston type game. He'll probably throw 3-4 interceptions, or 3 or 4 touchdowns, but he'll throw 3 or 4 picks at the same time. And I think Mahomes throws a pick too. I'll go ahead and go up there. He threw very few picks, but it was against one Florida team that he had a 3 interception game. He ended up winning that game.
That's right. That's right. His worst.
So we'll see.
Probably his worst game of his career
was in Florida, and he's in Florida again.
That's right. So we'll definitely see about that. Just real quick, I'm just thinking about it. When the hell's the last time Mahomes threw an interception?
I think it was that game. It was that Dolphins game. I think that was like week 12, I want to say. He may have thrown one more.
Filthy.
Let me.
Because I just thought about that. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, I feel like I never see this guy throw a pick ever. I know what happens, but I'm just like I feel like I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think it was the Dolphins game, and it was 4 weeks before the season ended. I'm checking those last couple of games. Oh, okay. No, he threw one against the Falcons when they, only beat the Falcons by 3.
Oh yeah, when they were doing that whole where we just decided to not cover a spread in 2 months.
Yeah,
when they were doing that.
That was the last time. That was the last time he threw one, but I feel like they kind of checked out by then because I think they had the number 1 seed locked up.
Yeah, they
were. In the next game, they freaking rolled out Chad Henne.
And still won.
Miami Dolphin legend Chad Henne.
Miami Dolphin legend Chad Henne.
He was there for just 2 years, 3 years, maybe.
Hey, listen, if the Chiefs do end up winning, I tell you what, Chad Henne's going to be very beloved because he could very well, he saved their asses against Cleveland. He really did.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did. That was his career highlight right
Right
there.
there, 100%.
He'll be able to brag to his kids. He'll be like, Brian Scalabrine, talking, he's
about that Celtics ring he won.
Yeah. And he's like, I could tell my kids, it's like, that I was a part of this, and it's like that I could tell my grandkids, that I was a starter. And then it's like I could tell my great grandkids I was the freaking MVP.
Yep.
They're not gonna know.
And they probably won't even care to look it up either.
Yeah, I know. It's like Chad Henne's great grandkids. He's gonna be like, I saved the Colts season. I put the team on my back, and we won a Super Bowl.
Oh man, gotta love you some Chad Henne. Gotta love it.
Some dark days in Miami.
Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, you got
literally we hop from. I forget the order it goes in, but it's like we go Jay Fiedler, AJ Feely's there for a little bit as the backup. Mm-hmm. Then we go to Chad Henne and Dante Culpepper. Dante Culpepper was before that. So
yeah. What could have been if you just took a chance on Drew Brees?
That's why I'll never like Saban. Not because that he kicks the Razorbacks' ass every year. It's because
he passed on Drew Brees.
Yeah, no. Even though Trey is like, it was the team doctors, I was like, yeah, but he's the head coach.
He could have made a call on that.
Big man in town. He could have, if he really wanted them, he could have been like, I'm gonna take a chance on him. The doctors are the scapegoat.
Oh, so sorry. Feel so bad.
Well, worked out for you. Because then he ran away from the NFL and speaking of Saban, real quickly, just before we close, just because it was so cool, did you watch the video where a recruit?
I did. He was his resume is just, what he talks about is just so sick. It's like,
yeah, and
I've won all these national championships. I get more players drafted than just about anybody. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I know. And it's not just that. And he's like, I've done all of this. And it's like, I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't think that you were good enough to be on this team.
Yep.
And then, he's like, you're not going to get better competition than the practicing with Alabama. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's his pitch. It's like, you want to go to the NFL, join the team for practices.
Yeah.
You can have what?
I believe it. I believe it.
You can have 1 season where you play as a starter for Alabama. It could be your senior year. And you're going to be more prepared for that senior year than any other program. And you're going to be more NFL ready than anything. And that's why Alabama dudes get drafted. All it takes
is one start.
He's just laid back in his chair, doing whatever. And he's like, and he's like, we've been to the playoffs the past 9 years. And it's like, we're in the title game, we won all these titles. And he's like, don't listen to the other guys. He's like, it's weak tactics when they say, oh, you won't get to play there. And he's like, I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't think that you could play. And if I'm the recruit, if Nick Saban's on a Zoom call on the other side, I'm like, man, I got a chance to go pro now.
Yeah,
Saban thinks I got it. The best head coach in college football thinks that I can go pro. It's like, well, now
well, Saban's gonna secure me the bag, and I'm gonna go do that. Say, Mom and Dad, I'll be back. I'll be back in 5 years with an NFL contract.
I'm going to the 50th ranked state in the union in education to play football.
That's right. Play us some foosball. All right. But anyway, it's been a great episode. Remember, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe on this video when you watch it.